Does anyone have a question? Stuart, Chikor, could you speak about the inner communication between teacher and student? Look, when a teacher and a student, develop this relationship in which they truly are open to learning, to grow, to get closer to God. There's no time or space between them. They could be thousands of miles away, and the connection is so powerful that you can feel the energy flowing from one to the other. That kind of relationship is miraculous. It's just full of wonder because it truly, can only take place if the needs of both of them are to attain a state of spiritual enlightenment. And it's very real. I mean, I can feel people all over the world inside myself. And I suspect that people feel my energy, no matter where they are on this planet. And I think that's one of the most remarkable marriages that can exist on Earth. The marriage between a teacher and a student. They need each other. Understand, first of all, spiritual practice has to be passed on from generation to generation. Secondly, the need in a student and the need in the teacher to work deep enough in themselves to open to God, that need really, that need really enables both of them to plummet the depths of their inner being. When a student demands, they want, they ask, they want to grow, it's the greatest thing you can do for a teacher. And that connection, there is no time. Look at this. I mean, we're sitting here staring into computers and iPads and telephones, and we're thousands of miles away from each other. It's a perfect example of how connected people are when they want to have a spiritual life. And to me, the greatest marriage on the earth is that marriage between a teacher and a student, because it really is based on only one simple thing, the need to grow and evolve and become one with higher energy in the universe. And honestly, it's the single most difficult thing to do on the earth. So they've taken upon themselves a job that is almost incomprehensible in ordinary human terms. But in spiritual terms, it's absolutely common sense. And important, because spiritual teachings have to be passed on from generation to generation. It's the job of a teacher to pass it on, not to take it with him, not to create a circle of, untouchable, you can only touch their foot and toe. It has to be passed on. and passed on in a real way, you know. So yes, there is that connection. It's a wonderful connection. I mean, it lives in the heart, you know, that's where all of these connections truly evolve, and that is in the heart chakra. I mean, Rudy, throughout eternity, has lived in my heart. So, you know, when I was 6 years old, I used to lie in bed at night, and this is a true story. And I would say over and over again the word Rudy. And then it took 19 years to meet him. But every night, before I went to sleep, and I would hear this voice say, Rudy, Rudy, in my head. So these connections are ancient, and there are no accidents in life. You know, you don't meet a teacher by accident. This is something that is part of karma, and is part of a predetermined meeting of two souls that can truly form a spiritual marriage, you know, to take them both into the, you know, to a state of spiritual enlightenment. And then it takes doing the work. I always say that. I said yesterday when Rudy took my hands away, great, I could have spent, oh my God, they're not my hands. And I could have spent the rest of my life looking at them, you know? But it took years of inner work to develop the capacity to use those hands in a conscious way. It's the same way in the relationship with a student and a teacher. You know, I used to, years ago, I don't hear this much anymore. I used to meet a lot of people that had, you know, Aurobindo and this one and that one as teachers, and they would, I don't have to work. I'm living in the light of my guru, in the whatever of the guru, you know, the grace of the guru, you know? And to me, it was one of the most scary things I ever heard. It's an insult to the guru. You know, that you can actually think by sitting in the grace of the guru, receiving without doing any work, that you're going to evolve and get closer to God. It treats the teacher cheaply. And I used to hear this all the time from people. Oh, I don't have to do spiritual work. I am, you know, I'm in the grace of my guru. You know, that is, and it doesn't work that way. I watched Rudy with Muktananda when Muktananda was a big Indian in New York. I never saw anybody work harder. And he once told me, he said, Stuart, don't chant, just sit and draw the Shakti. He told me this. I used to chant before in every satsang. Don't chant, just take the Shakti, draw it. He's a very powerful teacher. Take his Shakti. That'll make you grow. He told me this. So that creates the marriage, you know, even a marriage on human terms, it requires work. Marriages don't work unless people really work at them. And this is no different. Spiritual connections don't work unless people really work very deeply on themselves and find those connections in the heart, inside themselves, where they really exist. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
I hope this is clear. I don't know how to make it any clearer. That the most extraordinary marriage on the earth is the marriage between teacher and disciples, students, because it's a marriage based upon both of them having a need to get to God, to be one with higher energy in the universe, to become spiritually enlightened. Through that marriage, you learn service, you learn how to act in the world, you learn how to surrender, because I've never met a teacher in my life who's an easy person. In fact, I can honestly say I've never met anybody in my life who's an easy person. That teaches this, how to surrender, how to let go, how to serve in the world, how to be grateful, not just lip service gratitude, that's just bullshit, but gratitude through your actions, through what you do, how you contribute to another human being's life. All of that is part of that marriage. And that marriage is essential because it teaches us not only to have a spiritual life, but how to live here like human beings. Does anyone have a question? Anyone else have a question?
Stuart, how do you deepen your demand without getting kind of tense or intense about it?
Zach, you'll have to repeat that. I didn't get that.
Okay, I said, how do you deepen your demand, your inner demand to grow and open without getting kind of intense and tense about it?
Well, why do you have to get intense? It's just tapping a need. And look, the energy of God, the energy of spirit is infinite in the universe. There is no limit to it. And the deeper you relax inside yourself and keep your focus of attention in the navel chakra, opening the heart, you understand? That doesn't require intensity. You can't force the chakra system to open. You have to really relax deeply and then feel that just needing yourself. I really need to be with God. I will do whatever it takes to grow and to be with God. And I won't force it to happen. I will grow enough inside myself to just let it happen, to just be. And that is not intense. The intensity has a number of definitions, Real intensity is doing what I'm talking about. Forcing things to open is not intensity, because all they're going to do inside you is close. They're going to get tighter. Even if you breathe into the chakra, in the heart and below the navel, if the chakra isn't open, it's going to get tighter. So the whole idea is to bring your attention down there to open the chakra, to feel gratitude in the heart, to open the chakra. Then the breath will expand the chakra. And that's real intensity. Not trying to force it to open because it doesn't work. It won't work. You can't force your way into the presence of God. It doesn't work. You can use your ego to dominate other people, but when you're talking about higher energy in the universe, it doesn't work. It has to come through an intelligent use of the mind and the breath, through the development of a chakra system. And then it works. So feeling a deep need inside has nothing to do with forcing yourself to open. You know, it just has to do with a simple need inside oneself that says, I want to grow. And the more relaxed you are about it, the deeper the energy can go inside you. I want to grow. I will ask the questions that will help me to grow. I will do the work in myself that will help me to grow. I will build a system inside that will enable me to grow. I will do all these things. And I'll have fun while I'm doing it. You know, it doesn't have to be some, you know, Rudy, it's not a Jewish wedding. He said that in his movie, you know, not a Jewish wedding. You don't have to, I remember I had a student who was getting married. I'll never forget this as long as I live. And I'm walking down the aisle with her in this huge cathedral in New York, and she's still bossing everybody around. You know, I'll never forget this. Papa, did you do that? I finally said, will you please just shut up and enjoy your wedding? I told her this. She finally just started relaxed and her heart opened, and we had a great time. But halfway down the aisle, she was so nervous about every little thing about that, you know. I said, just relax. It's your wedding, for God's sake. Enjoy it. Relax. It's your union with God. Enjoy it. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay. Just, you know, reminder, I'm still collecting names for the retreat, you know, which will be either the weekend before or the weekend after my birthday. If you'd like to attend, you're very welcome. You know, let me have your name though, because after, you know, like the 1st of July, I'm not going to do this, collect names anymore, because there has to be a certain amount of time to, I don't even know if I can get a space now, but I don't want to go to them and say, well, yeah, I'll take this space, and I don't get enough people that want to attend the retreat. So please let me know if you're interested, and I will put your name down. Send me an email. Don't raise your hand here, okay? Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? You know, I'm trying to be as clear as possible about all of these things, you know. I need the clarity in myself as well. And to share with you so much that I've learned in my life, it's just a joy and a privilege to be able to do this. So God bless you all. And there'll be a meditation on Wednesday evening or Wednesday afternoon. And I hope to see everybody. Bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Bless you.
Thank you, Stuart. Good night.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.